This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Philly Sports Guy show. Today is Thursday, August 4th, and we had some stuff happen yesterday. The Fightins were back in Atlanta, and they played an early game. So everybody who was working may not have got to see it. They had to listen to it on the radio. For those who were not working, they get to go and watch it at their local establishment or at home. And the Phillies Wheeler goes out there and pitches a pretty strong game. Really only has one bad pitch that entire game that got knocked out of the park. But somebody stepped up who's not used to. We're not used to hearing him stepping up and giving some kudos to him. Nick Castellanos goes ahead and hits a two-run bomb. It's a two-run bomb to put them in the lead in the eighth inning. And then they come out. Was it the eighth? Yes, it was in the eighth inning. They get a three-run eighth. And absolutely, they almost didn't get to do this because, you know, Real Muto hits into what looks like a double play. No run scoring after review. They overturned the call that Real Muto got in there just in time, and that allowed Harper's run to count. And then, of course, Nick goes ahead and takes care of business, hits that two-run shot. Maybe, just maybe, he had a four-hit game against the Pirates. Maybe this was what he needed to start to turn around and maybe start to get hot. I said that it didn't matter what he did in the previous. They're continuing to boo him. But if he is to start to get hot now is the time, because ultimately these games are going to matter a lot more as we move forward than what happened in the past. So I hopefully I'm on board with him. We need him to start to get hot. Obviously, JT hustling down the line. Had he just taken a half a step off, they would not have won this game. So literally, he was hustling, doing his thing. Obviously, he knew he hit the ball badly. Didn't want to have that double play occur and beat it out. And those are the types of hustle plays and the important things that win games. Interestingly enough, like I said, they were able to overturn that call. It was originally called out and the double play, which means the run would not have scored. So that was a big overturn. And ultimately, the Phillies come away with a sweep, especially after being down, getting beat yesterday or the day before 13-1. They really needed to be able to come out with a win here. And in the process of that, we got a new guy who gets the save in the process. Robertson comes in. I was going to say Colin Derrickson, but Robertson comes in and, in his first time pitching in a really long time in a Phillies uniform, takes care of business and gets did I say he did get a 1-2-3 inning? He did get the 1-2-3 inning. They were swinging and missing badly. I mean, those I watched that inning, and he was just mowing them down. Like they couldn't catch up. That sinker was just deadly. It was just nasty. They were just swinging at air, and that's one of the things that I was enjoying. I'm like, hoo, it's nice to have somebody back. And like I said, they put him right in the saver. Winds up getting the save. That would be his 15th save of the year, but the first as a Philadelphia Philly. Some of the highlights from yesterday. Obviously, Schwarber had 2 Ks, so he didn't hit anyone out. But Alec Boehm stays out. He winds up going 1 for 4. He also had a couple Ks. There was a lot of strikeouts. They had a lot of strikeouts in this series. It was only a 2-game series, but wind up with 26 strikeouts against these two pitchers, and they got to do a little bit better than that. Like I said, they came out with the win. Wheeler was pitching, so he pitched a great game. He wound up giving up 1 earned run, 7 Ks on the day, 5 hits in total, and no walks. He's down. He's at now a 10-5 with a 2.69 ERA. We were talking this morning when I was doing Started Up this morning at 6 o'clock, which you could find on the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. And I was asked whether I believe that he is a Cy Young candidate. And I'm saying at the moment that I don't believe that he is. However, if he continues to pitch strong coming out of here and finishing out the season very strong, and maybe lowers that ERA a little bit more, he may be in the talk. Alcantara, I believe, is really going to be that pitcher who winds up winning it, because he had another great outing yesterday. Complete game. He's got 3 complete games in the season. You don't even see pitchers go complete games anymore. So I don't know that Wheeler has got that, but he might be in the conversation, which is really important. So, but obviously, the big bat from Nick winds up being the difference maker. He gets of course, he went 1 for 3 with that home run, 420 foot shot. I mean, that was dead right straight center field. Guy just looked up and it was gone. So good on him. Like I said, hopefully that starts to change things. Derek Hall in the number 6 spot goes 1 for 3. Matt Vierling goes 1 for 4. Like I said, they only had 5 hits on the day, but one of them was a big one, and that was most important going from there. Sir Anthony Dominguez comes in, and he gives up a hit. He only goes 2/3 of an inning. Alvarado comes in and mows that one guy down. Gets the extra third of an inning, and then of course Robertson with his 15th save of the year, first in a Phillies uniform in God knows how long. I think it's been 3 years since he's been here, or maybe 2, after that injury. And hopefully he comes back with something to prove. He definitely, like I said, that pitch he was throwing, that slider or that he was throwing, or sinker, was just straight filthy, filthy. They couldn't catch up to it. They were swinging at air. It was just down in the dirt, and they were just swinging up top. So hopefully that is able to keep on going from here on out, and they're able to get some strength. Today, the Phillies are up against the Nationals. They start a 4-game series with the Nationals, and we're getting a couple of new guys that are showing up today. As of right now, the pitcher is going to be Noah Syndergaard, going ahead and get his first start in a Phillies uniform up against the Nationals. The Nationals did lose yesterday to the Mets. However, they have been playing a little bit better. They beat the Mets at least once. I know that they're only in a 1-game losing streak right now, but Noah is going to be on the mound. And, also, I think we are going to have a new center fielder that starts today as well. He's going to be there. And wow, I can't believe I can't remember his name already. But they haven't come out with the lineup yet. I expect that the new guy is going to be playing center field for the foreseeable future. They said he was going to be the starting guy, which means that Vierling is probably. There's going to be a couple of ways that this will happen. I think Vierling may get some time in right, where they'll put Castellanos as the designated hitter, or they may switch him to left and put Schwarber in the designated hitter position. So he's going to have a little bit of ability to move these guys around now and maybe give some breaks to some of the outfield who have been playing really nonstop over, every game. And obviously, Vierling is going to have a better arm than Schwarber, so it's possible that that's where he's going to play left field. And you'll have our guy in center, and then Castellanos in right, and then switch it back and forth so that they could switch that designated hitter a little bit, pass that around. That could mean that that could spell something for Derek Hall, that it's possible that he may just be coming off the bench to pinch hit rather than to be in that designated hitter spot. He's done pretty well there. He's actually looks like that he is, does deserve to be up here. I want to see what his. I mean, he's batting .258 with the .296 on base percentage. So, I mean, he's doing okay. He's been serviceable here. He has hit a few home runs. We haven't really missed Harper that much in the grand scheme of things, because they have been playing pretty well in Harper's absence. But obviously, Harper's going to be back here. He got the pins out. He should be back in the next 3 weeks. Gene Segura is going to be back again. I think that he's going to be at second base. So there's going to be some changes. We're going to look a little different today, almost back to normal, as the Phillies are going to honor the 1980 World Series team this weekend. So there's going to be a lot of fun happening. I think today is the Mike Schmidt ring giveaway, where they're going to give away replica 1980 rings. They also, and I know on Sunday, Pete Rose is going to be in town, and he's going to be celebrated along with the 1980 team on Sunday. So it's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. And of course, the Philly Sports Guy is going to be there. So we're going to be able to show some of this stuff. I'm going to be able to do some lives, and we'll be able to get everything. You'll be able to see everything, both on TV and on my stream. So it should be worthwhile to be able to do that. Anyways, let's go to a quick commercial break where we will come back afterwards and talk about some things that are happening in camp. There's been some words coming out about some of the guys, and I am really excited to hear, to have read some of the things I did about Jordan Davis. So let's go and hit our commercial messages, and we will be back in just a few moments.
The Hometown Foundation is excited to bring back the Dream Ride Experience, August 26th to the 28th at Connecticut's Farmington Polo Club. Join us in celebrating the accomplishments of our Dream Riders while enjoying live music, a car and motorcycle show, family fun zone, pet adoptions, canine demonstrations, the Fireman's Chili Cook-Off, and much, much more. Get your tickets today.
What's up, everybody? Philly Sports Guy here, and it's fantasy football season. And if you want me to announce your order of your draft, all you have to do is go to Cameo. Go ahead and look up the Philly Sports Guy and tell me who's in your draft, and I'll choose who goes first, who goes last, so that you don't have to worry about whether the commissioner's cheating and getting the first pick again this year. So reach out to the Philly Sports Guy on Cameo for not only fantasy football, but for all your messaging needs. I'll give you a shout out. I'll get happy birthday. I can say hello to the troops overseas, or anything else you want to have messaged about. So reach out for the Philly Sports Guy on Cameo. And go Birds! Yeah!
About me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Wait, no, you gotta get me at the random. I'm not prepared.
What a wonderful world.
what a wonderful. What's up, everybody? It's the Philly Sports Guy here with Philly Sports Trips. And, we're going to Houston this year. And I got a couple Houston fans right here just to say. And I want to know, are you guys ready for the Bird Gang to go to Houston? So what are we going to do when we get to Houston? We're going to melt. We're going to melt the humidity. The Eagles will just be picking the carcasses off the Texans. Well, listen, we'll see you this NFL season. Go Birds! Yeah!
I mean, you can see right now with the LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboys fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, from Brooklyn. Hey, get any.
And we're back, and welcome back to the Philly Sports Guy Show. And just do another quick about Philly Sports Trips. I know that I keep pushing this Washington trip. We're also going to Arizona. In Arizona, there's the ability, they are having a charity golf outing. So that not only could you go to the game, but you could also check out and make sure that you can see, like, go golfing in Arizona, all for charity. And also, I one of the things I also haven't mentioned, we're going to Indianapolis. We're going to go see our old friend Matty Ice over there in Indianapolis and Frank Reich. But not only that, they're also going to go up to, go see Touchdown Jesus and watch a Notre Dame college game. I believe it's against Michigan. So you would not only get to go see the Eagles beat the Colts, but also get to see Notre Dame get spanked by Michigan. I'm not a fan of either team, but I really don't like Notre Dame more than I don't like Michigan. So I'm not going to be going to that game. I'm not a big fan of either one of those teams, but maybe going to, go see Touchdown Jesus is something that you would want to do, and you can only do that with Philly Sports Trips. So definitely check it out. That's the trip to Indianapolis. We're going to every game this year, including Dallas on Christmas Eve. So if you don't have any family and you want to get away for Christmas Eve, maybe go watch the Eagles beat up some Cowboys right for Christmas. Maybe have another one of those sayings, from Garcia. We'll bring Garcia back and says, "Merry Christmas, Philadelphia." Maybe something like that could occur, and we could actually, you could be able to go down there and see it firsthand. So definitely check it out, phillysportstrips.com. Let them know the Philly Sports Guy sent you. Now let's get back. Let's talk some football. Camp has been going on, and I've been watching some of the interviews and such like that. And I saw how Brandon Graham has been taking reps with the second team, and he does. He's saying, at his age, he just wants to be able to contribute. That maybe taking that one step back and not playing as many plays, he would be able to help in a better way, like some of these other ones, like Chris Long. He got less plays when he came here, but wound up being much more beneficial because he was fresher when he went out there. He was able to get to the quarterback a few times and actually make a big difference. And Brandon Graham's hoping to do that same type of thing. So he was able to do that. But really, the big story about everything, and he's obviously a big story because he's a big guy, is Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis was originally playing on the second team. He got promoted to the first team, and he is just shedding blocks. Obviously he's as big as Mailata, so those guys have been having some war, and he's been going up against Sayamalu typically, and he's been shedding double teams. It really has been impressive to see that guy, somebody 6'6", 6'7", 340 pounds, move as agile and as quickly as he has. He is going to wind up being a starter from the very beginning here, and I think this is going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to create some mismatches on some of these offensive lines for some of these offensive lines that he's going to be able to get in there and really start to put some pressure on the quarterback and just push that line back because of how massive it is. Secondly, I think that they are going to be forced to have to double team him, which means that Fletcher Cox is not going to get double teamed, which means that I think that he's going to have a year where he bounced back, like a big bounce back year, where he really starts to disrupt and affect what's going on behind the line of scrimmage. That this line now, with about 7, 8 guys that are going to be rotating in and out, is going to be really, really strong. And that's going to give a couple of things. One, I know that that our defensive coordinator lately just does not like the blitz. We are not a blitzing team anymore. But getting the pressure with the tackles is going to be able to relieve some of that we're not going to need our linebackers to have to go in on these blitzes, which means that they're going to be able to cover. I don't know that Nakobe Dean is going to be able to be as influential as we expect him to be. Yeah, because he does, he does look a little small out there in comparison to these other guys. So his agility and speed is going to really play a part in a lot of what's going on. But ultimately, he's a little undersized for what's happening, and they're going to need some size. They're going to be able to have some coverage there. That is one of the things that he's able to do well. So maybe he will get some time out there. But right now that he's been on the second team and he hasn't had as great a camp as people have expected, that maybe it could come out that we're hoping that he may be the new captain of the defense, and it's not quite there yet. He's going to need a little bit more time. Just and maybe put on some weight. Need to get some more muscle on there on his body to be able to really compete in the NFL. Because right now he's a little undersized, and we don't want to see him get hurt in that regard. The other big battle that's happening right now is the spot for Reagor. Is Reagor going to make this team? Obviously, it's been a little bit talked about that. All right, he's fighting for a position. Quez Watkins has not had the best camp. And when we talk about who we believe are going to be the 4 receivers, obviously you have A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Pascal, who's obviously a coach favorite. The coach likes Pascal, so we believe he's going to make the team. So that leaves Quez Watkins, who is listed right now as the number 3 or 4 guy, depending on where you put Pascal in the mix. And then who's going to be that 5th guy? And I know that we have Devin Allen, who's listed as a wide receiver. He's really going to be more of a special teamer. And then you have, is it going to be Reagor? He's going up against Hightower. He's going up against a couple of other guys. And he has had a pretty good camp. He has come in with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. It's like he wants to make this team. So it's been interesting to see him. Quez Watkins wound up with an illness, and Reagor filled in with him in the first with the first team and caught a couple of impressive balls. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Is Reagor going to remain? I think now that some of the pressure is off of Reagor, I think that he's going to be a good football player. Is he going to be first round talent? Is he going to be Justin Jefferson? No, he's not going to be Justin Jefferson. Are we going to hold that mistake forever? I'm sure that most Philadelphians are always going to say, well, we could have had Justin Jefferson instead of Reagor, but obviously they made that mistake. So there is going to be some of that talk. However, I feel that he's improved this year and that he's going to do whatever he can to make this team. And if he makes this team, I expect him to make some serious catches, and that they are going to utilize him in a way that's going to make him useful for this offense. Like I said, it's rare that the Eagles go in 5 wide receiver sets. I don't see it very often at all. So I don't expect that that's ever going to be the case. But he does run routes a little better than Quez Watkins does. And ultimately, it's possible that he could get put into that slot area and really start to excel, especially because you have Brown and Smith on the outsides. And really, and then also Dallas Goddard, who can be used anywhere on the field as well. So I feel that this is still going to be, there's still a spot here for Reagor, and that he's going to make this team. Plus, they're going to have him do kickoffs, as you know, still some kickoffs, and maybe do some punt returning. As you know, I'm not sure where they're going to put Devin Allen, although I love that. I love that speed on the outsides going to attack the punter. I feel like that's where he could really start to excel there and maybe get a couple of blocked punts this year, just from that speed alone. But we'll have to see. Obviously, more stuff happening from camp. The 7th. The 7th is when the Eagles are having their open practice. It's $10 to get a ticket. I expect to be there as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. That day is going to be a very busy day because the Phillies are doing their thing, and for the 1980 squad, and then I'm going to be there to go right there from there to the practice. So we're going to be doing a little bit of double duty that day. Not exactly sure how I'm going to get dressed up. Last year I did the Eagles look with the Phillies jersey. This year may be a little different. We'll have to see how that all occurs. But ultimately, it's going to be exciting to kind of see how everything unfolds that day and what this team looks like out on the field. Because I'm ready for preseason to start. Obviously, we have the Jets coming in next Friday. And preseason begins tonight at 8 o'clock, where the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to take on the Oakland Raiders. And the Jaguars are coached by your friend and mine, Doug Peterson. I wonder if he's going to use Philly in this game or in any game whatsoever. Is he bringing that play with him to go anywhere? Let's see. I'd like to see how he does with Trevor Lawrence and that team, since that team was a dumpster fire last year with their coach, the Ohio State dancer. He's obviously not there anymore. They weren't real happy with him at all. And it's funny. Once he got fired, you haven't heard much from him much at all. So I don't know if he's ever going to be able to coach again. But that being said, it's going to be a little interesting. The over-under today is 30.5, so I don't expect a lot of scoring. This is going to be that one game where it's going to go back and forth. A lot of punts in this game. This is what you're expecting, and just a lot of names that we're not going to see again come even next week. But maybe they'll play David Carr for a half a second. I know that I don't expect Lawrence to play at all. I think that's what came across the wire. So who knows if there's going to be any starters, and especially because Washington is going to be out for the season from the Cowboys. And there have been some players that have gotten ACLs and such. I don't know that they are going to want to test any of those boundaries before the season. These are now, it seems like that the NFL is moving to glorified walkthroughs, where these are a little bit more passionate walkthroughs, as we go, as we would say, that they are, not tackling all the way to the ground. And Nick Sirianni addressed that. They're saying that, in the very beginning, that there may be some missed tackles because we are not tackling to the ground. However, we're just protecting ourselves from injuries. That these guys are professionals. These guys stay in shape. They are in top of their game. It's now the muscle memory that we have to do. We have to remember what it is that we do all the time. And ultimately, this is part of the new NFL. The real preseason is the first 4 games of the season. It happened last year. It's going to happen again this year. That I believe that these guys are not going to be 100% prepared going into game 1. That it's going to take a couple of games to get themselves established. Just hopefully that we win most of those games, or at least break even, so that we could be able to go and move forward for the rest of the season. That being said, there is, this half hour goes very quickly. We're talking about the Fightins, talking about the Birds. There's nothing better. This is the great time of year as we get ready for football season and the hunt for Red October. So if you're at the Phillies game today, come check me out. I'll be out there in left field doing my thing. So definitely come say hello and take a picture. But until tomorrow, everybody have a great day. And as always, go Philly.